Have you ever felt this deep, almost unshakable sense that there's more to life than what you're currently experiencing? A profound longing for what our source material beautifully calls life in capital letters. A vibrant, fully alive existence that seems to glimmer just beyond your grasp. It's a feeling I think many of us can relate to, a subtle whisper that maybe our potential is far greater than our everyday reality often allows. Today, we're taking a fascinating deep dive into some truly unique source material. We're exploring what's described as a preparatory message and word of encouragement from the Pleiadian Syrian collectives via a channel named Minayah. This comes from the GFL Station YouTube channel. Now, for those maybe less familiar, channeled messages like this are often understood within certain spiritual traditions as communications from, well, non-physical entities or higher consciousness. And these collectives, the Pleiadian Syrian ones, are often described as advanced, perhaps extraterrestrial beings believed to offer guidance for humanity's evolution. But this isn't just another spiritual message, you know. It feels like a really intricate exploration of our deepest yearnings and the emergence of what it calls a new vibration of energy. An energy that promises to profoundly shift our experience of life itself.
Yeah, and what's truly intriguing here is how these teachings suggest that everything we've pursued, every grand adventure, every romantic connection, even the chase for power or material success, has, at its core, been a subconscious attempt to return to a state of true aliveness. So our mission for this deep dive is really to unravel what this ultimate aliveness truly means, how it's said to be emerging right now, and crucially, how we can practically embrace it in our daily lives, transforming both our inner landscape and how we interact with the world around us.
So get ready for some genuine aha moments, I think, because this deep dive promises to gently shake us awake to a deeper truth about ourselves and, well, the universe. We're going to explore what it means to move from what the source describes as a cramped, half-awake existence. Which sounds a bit bleak, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
To a radiant, divine life pulsing within you. It's really about recognizing and embodying the wholeness of life. Okay, let's begin with this foundational concept then. The inherent human quest for aliveness. The source material paints such a vivid picture here. It posits that all human endeavors, literally everything we've reached for, built up, or even torn down, is ultimately driven by this singular, profound yearning.
Exactly. The source suggests that every mountain you have climbed, every ill-fitting love affair, every reckless use of money, each thing built up or torn down, every false lure of power, all these actions, whether we're conscious of it or not, are fueled by this innate hunger. A hunger to recapture life in its most vibrant form. Mm-hmm. And this isn't just about survival or, fleeting pleasure. It's a deep existential chase for what it terms life in capital letters, describing it as a sizzling, electric, dynamic, ever-glorious life. It sounds like an experience so real, so all-consuming and ecstatic that there's no doubt you are part of a miracle.
Life in capital letters, that phrase really resonates, doesn't it? It just hits differently. It immediately conveys an intensity, a sense of profound significance. When I hear that, I picture an experience so utterly present and connected that it leaves no room for the ordinary doubts or distractions we usually carry. It really points to a fundamental, almost spiritual hunger, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Like an evolutionary drive beneath all our surface desires. It's not just about feeling good, but feeling utterly, undeniably alive.
Indeed.
Yeah.
That capital letters imagery implies an experience so real, so all-consuming, that it just dissolves any sense of separation. It's described as a state where every breath feels charged with purpose and every heartbeat testifies that something divine is present. In that state, the boundaries between you and the universal source seem to just melt away.
Yeah.
You become fully immersed in the wonder of creation itself. And this longing, this inherent search, highlights how we often misdirect it, doesn't it?
Right.
The source emphasizes that none of those past pursuits could fully satisfy this deepest craving. Because what was truly desired was far greater than any adventure or romance could provide.
Yeah.
It's like trying to quench a deep thirst with, just a few sips from a tiny thimble. It just won't cut it.
And if this longing for life in capital letters is truly universal, it really makes you pause and reflect on modern life, doesn't it? We're constantly bombarded with stimuli, with promises of fulfillment through, say, material success, or even these intense, sometimes dramatic relationships. Could this inherent spiritual hunger explain why so many people, even after achieving all those external benchmarks, still feel, Well, a lingering sense of unfulfillment. It's as if those external pursuits offer only temporary fixes, maybe distractions even, rather than addressing the core craving for deep aliveness and genuine connection.
That's a very insightful parallel. Yeah.
Yeah.
This idea resonates strongly with modern psychology's understanding of intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation. While extrinsic rewards like wealth or status can give you a fleeting boost.
Yeah.
True, lasting fulfillment often springs from intrinsic sources. A sense of purpose, deep connection, self-actualization. The source talks about the pure vitality of creation itself flowing through your veins.
Yeah.
That could be seen as the ultimate intrinsic reward, couldn't it? The ultimate aha moment of self-realization.
Absolutely.
Just think about moments in your own life, perhaps, where you felt truly, undeniably alive. Maybe witnessing profound beauty in nature, or experiencing a deep, authentic connection with someone, or even having a creative breakthrough. That feeling.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, those peak moments.
Right. The source argues our entire existence is basically a search for that feeling. But often, as you said, we misdirect it externally. We look outside for it.
So, if we've been chasing this feeling in so many different ways, often finding it just out of reach, what is it that we're really craving? And more importantly, how is it becoming more accessible now? Because the source definitely hints that something fundamental is shifting, almost as if the universe itself is ready to meet us halfway on this.
Precisely. And that leads us directly to the promise of true life arising right now. The source declares that this ultimate aliveness that may have seemed elusive or distant is now, in this very moment, arising to meet you again. Notice that phrasing, arising to meet you. It's not a future promise, but an immediate, palpable potential.
Right now.
Right now. It's described as an energy that will shake you wide awake like nothing before, lifting you beyond every dull or numbed feeling you've ever known. The language is incredibly active, isn't it? Suggesting a powerful, almost magnetic force that is drawing us in.
That's a powerful image, poised to sweep you up in a whirlwind of wonder. It implies an active, powerful force reaching out, not some passive waiting state we have to strive for endlessly. This suggests a fundamental energetic shift is happening now, offering a new way of perceiving and experiencing reality. It's not just a subtle nudge, it sounds like, but an awakening that will make each instant feel like the dawn of creation. Imagine shedding a long-held numbness, suddenly feeling every second as an adventure in aliveness that leaves you breathless, exhilarated, and filled with wonder. The source states you'll recognize what you truly are, and it will astonish you.
That's not a small claim, is it? That's a profound promise of self-discovery.
It is, absolutely. And it really hints at a collective evolutionary step for humanity, where perhaps a previously rare or, esoteric experience is becoming broadly available. I mean, what might be the societal implications if more and more people began to shimmer and radiate from within, erupting with unbelievable joy and vitality?
That's a fascinating thought. Imagine a world where individuals are experiencing themselves as bursting forth without any boundaries, with infinite life force flowing through every part of them. The idea of no limits remaining on what life can be, no walls between your heart and the living universe, that suggests an unprecedented level of individual and collective freedom. Which brings up an important question. If this profound aliveness is now truly accessible, what exactly is this new vibration that makes it possible? And what does it reveal about our true nature?
That's a perfect bridge to our next point, because the source really does delve into this idea of a new energy, a new vibration. And it's not portrayed as just a gentle shift. It sounds more like a revelation, almost, of what has always been present underneath everything.
Absolutely. The source declares quite boldly that this level of life has never before been fully experienced in this world. What's arriving is described as the dawn of a completely new vibration, an entirely new experience of energy. But crucially, it's presented as nothing less than the revelation of the power and beauty that have always been behind your existence.
Ah, okay. So not something new, but something newly revealed.
Exactly. It implies a paradigm shift, not merely a personal awakening, although that's part of it, but a change in the fundamental energetic landscape of existence itself. And through this new energy, this newfound clarity, you are beginning to see how the force of creation forms your life.
So it's not like the universe is suddenly introducing a brand new ingredient into the mix.
Right.
But rather that something that has always been there is now being unveiled or revealed to us in a way we can finally perceive and experience it.
Yeah, that's the sense I get. Yeah.
That's like the difference between looking at a really blurred photograph and suddenly having it snap into sharp, vibrant focus. This new vibration acts as that clarity, allowing us to perceive the fundamental force of creation in our lives more directly. It suggests a deeper understanding of its mechanics and how it actually operates.
Precisely. It's an unveiling rather than an introduction of something entirely novel. And one could speculate, of course, what might cause such a global energetic shift. Is it a natural cycle of cosmic alignment? Is it collective consciousness reaching some kind of tipping point?
Yeah.
Or maybe even some form of external energetic influx that's nudging humanity forward? We don't know for sure from the source.
Okay.
But regardless of the cause, the key insight here is that this previously hidden power and beauty, this foundational force, is now becoming tangibly visible and accessible to us.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for me. This new vibration isn't just an external phenomenon washing over us. It sounds like something we actively participate in, something we co-create. How do we become this very doorway to creation, as the source puts it?
Yes, this is a crucial point that really highlights our active role in this process. The source explains that the force of creation forms your life when your consciousness and your heart work together as one.
Ah, the union of consciousness and heart.
Right. This union, this integrated alignment between your intellect, your awareness, and your emotional center, it becomes a sacred threshold where you can witness the creative act of the divine unfolding in real time. It suggests you start to actually experience the birth of new life as it happens within and around you. It's a profound shift, isn't it? From being a passive recipient of life to an active participant in its very generation.
So it's not just about intellectual understanding on its own or just about feeling strong emotions. It's the unified action of both mind and heart together that opens this profound doorway.
That's exactly it.
This implies an active participation in creation, not just passively observing it, like a becoming an aware instrument through which the universe is continually expanding and creating itself. And if we can witness the birth of new life as it happens within and around us, wow, what does that imply for our inherent abilities, our capacity to manifest our intentions maybe, to heal ourselves or others, to innovate in ways we perhaps once thought impossible?
The potential seems vast.
The source makes it pretty clear. All the splendor and glory of life in its wholeness is yours to know if you are willing to say yes to it. That yes again.
And this willingness, this alignment, leads us to a truly stunning realization about our own identity. The source gives us a definition of who we fundamentally are that, well, it could really change everything about how we see ourselves.
This is perhaps one of the most astonishing claims in the entire message, I think. It moves us beyond thinking of ourselves as just these separate individuals and elevates us to something far more fundamental, almost cosmic in scale.
The source states, you will discover what you truly are, and it will astonish you. Big promise. It then boldly declares, you are nothing less than the purest creative impulse of the universe. The very force of creation's love alive right now and taking form as you.
Wow.
This isn't just presented as a nice metaphor, it's stated as an intrinsic truth. This is what you've always been, and at last you are ready to know it intimately.
I mean, that's radical redefinition of self, isn't it?
Moving beyond a limited human identity to a direct embodiment of divine creative energy. It implies that our very existence is not merely an outcome of creation, but an active expression of creation itself happening right now. And that phrase, it was never outside of you, it has always been your true nature, just powerfully reinforces this intrinsic divinity. Think of it this way. Instead of just being made by the universe, the source suggests you are an active, living current of the universe's own creative energy, constantly shaping and bringing forth new realities, much like a tiny conscious eddy in a vast, powerful river.
That's a massive concept, isn't it? To go from thinking of yourself as a separate, finite entity to realizing you are the purest creative impulse. It's mind-bending.
It really is.
It's like spending your whole life thinking you were just a single drop of water and then suddenly realizing you are, in fact, the entire ocean. If we truly embraced and started acting from this understanding, what limitations would just dissolve? What incredible potential would it unlock for humanity?
Huge questions.
Well, this isn't just about feeling good, is it? It's about being meant to know what it truly means to be alive in a radiant divine life. A life far removed from that cramped, half-awake existence the source mentioned earlier. And to truly embrace this, the source says we have to do one key thing, say yes. But what does that yes really mean in practice? And what typically stands in our way?
Right, the profound act of saying yes to this new life.
Yeah.
It's truly central to the entire message, and it's definitely not just a casual agreement. It's presented as a deep, transformative commitment.
Yeah, exactly. The Source emphasizes that saying yes to life in its fullness means opening yourself without reservation or hesitation. That pushes way beyond mere intellectual consent, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
It requires a deep, emotional, and energetic alignment. It depends letting go of the defenses you built to feel safe, which implies shedding layers of conditioning, maybe past hurts that taught us to shield ourselves.
All those walls we build.
Right. It also means dropping the limiting perceptions of the ego in every way you have kept life small or at a distance. This isn't a minor adjustment. It sounds like releasing all the habits of holding back and every impulse to dampen or control the passionate life force flowing through you. It really sounds like a total surrender, but in the best possible way.
It is indeed an active, wholehearted surrender and alignment. It's a great way to put it. It's about dismantling those deeply ingrained patterns of self-protection and control, the ones that prevent the full flow of this unprecedented power and beauty. The Source states, the moment you truly agree to welcome life in its fullness, you become a living part of this new energy. And by giving your wholehearted yes, you effectively open the floodgates for this power and beauty to flow through you, carrying you beyond anything you have known and placing you in the very center of a whirlwind of living power and love. Think of a dam finally breaking, or floodgates swinging open after years of being held tightly shut. It's the kind of unreserved release of pent-up energy.
This brings us to a crucial aspect, though. The specific mention of the ego as a primary barrier. Many spiritual paths talk about self-awareness of the ego, needing to understand it. Does this Source suggest outright dissolving it, or is it more about transcending its limitations while still needing it to function in the world? Why is the ego seen as such a powerful impediment to this state of aliveness?
That's an important distinction, and the Source is very clear on this. It says, for ages, the little ego self and the many roles of separate identity have served mostly to hold you back from this tremendous life force. These conditioned identities acted like a veil dividing you from the very energy that makes you fully alive. So the ego, while serving a necessary function perhaps in navigating the physical world and establishing a sense of individual identity.
Right, it helps us operate day to day.
Yes, but it's portrayed here primarily as a separator, creating an illusion of division from one's true, powerful nature and from the universal flow. It keeps you feeling small and isolated, unaware of the power that is your birthright. So it's less about destroying the ego, I think, and more about seeing beyond its limitations, recognizing it as a construct, a tool maybe, rather than your ultimate divine identity.
Okay, so it's like looking through a smudged window, only seeing fragmented, distorted views of the world and yourself. The ego, with its limiting perceptions, acts as that smudged window. And letting go of its grip, its dominance, is like wiping the window clean so you can see the bigger picture clearly.
Beautiful analogy, yes.
And the Source even takes us a step further, suggesting a societal angle to this. It notes that many of society's structures have been designed, perhaps intentionally or unintentionally, to keep people from recognizing this inner power, using fear and division to dim the light within each heart. That raises some pretty profound questions about how our collective societal conditioning might actively contribute to our disconnection from this vital life force.
It absolutely implies a kind of collective suppression, doesn't it? A system that perhaps inadvertently keeps us feeling small and separate. But the message quickly pivots from just outlining the problem to presenting the powerful solution, urging us to reclaim our true power by seeing through these limitations.
So if the ego holds us back, then releasing its grip allows us to do what exactly? What is this power that we are here to reclaim? You mentioned it's not power over things, so what is it?
That's a vital question. When you move beyond the ego's limitations, the Source says you are meant to be truly empowered by the force of life. You are here to stand forth as the living expression of creation itself. So this is emphatically not about external power over others or control. Not at all. It's about profound internal empowerment, a deep, resonant alignment with the fundamental creative energy of the universe. Reclaiming this power is described as something that allows you to, metaphorically perhaps, shake the world to its foundations. Lifting truth high and letting falsehoods fall, you essentially become a vessel through which love's purpose is brought into the world in miraculous ways.
Yeah.
It shifts your perception of self from being just a mere individual to being a dynamic, active participant in the ongoing unfolding of creation itself.
That vision is quite awe-inspiring, really. If every creative impulse and every love-aligned dream within you can now manifest into form, Just imagine that. What kind of world could we co-create?
Hmm.
It suggests that which society once tried to suppress in you, maybe your intuition, your creativity, your deep empathy, is precisely what must now be set free. Imagine an artist suddenly realizing they aren't just painting a picture using external tools, but that they are the very source of the colors and the forms, breathing life into them, and then turning that realization into tangible creation in the world.
Yeah, that's a powerful shift in perspective.
This reconnection with our inner power and the profound yes to life, it leads us into an experience that's described as nothing short of ecstasy and profound gratitude. It sounds like the ultimate reunion, the ultimate homecoming.
Yes, this union is portrayed as the natural, almost inevitable ecstatic culmination of aligning with his new energy. But it starts, interestingly, with shifting our inner focus away from what often occupies most of our mental bandwidth.
Right. For too long, the source explains, our attention was caught up in the small, limited thinking mind with its endless chatter and worries, which, it argues quite strongly, cut us off from the deeper vibration of love. It acted like constant static, didn't it? Just noise.
Yeah, exactly.
Preventing us from sensing that powerful, quiet tremor of life that was always present, humming beneath the surface. But now, as you allow your heart to lead, you begin to sense this resonance humming beneath all things. This emphasizes a really significant shift from a predominantly head-centric, analytical way of living to a more heart-centric, intuitive awareness, letting the heart take the reins, so to speak.
Exactly. The busy noise of thought acted as a barrier, obscuring this deeper current. By consciously allowing the heart to lead, you discover that the very universe itself is trembling with the energy of love, eager to burst forth through you. This shift from mind to heart, it has profound implications, doesn't it? For decision-making, for accessing intuition, for overall well-being. If we consistently allowed our heart to lead over the purely analytical mind, our path to real life itself, which the source says speaks to you in the deepest core of your being, becomes much clearer, much more unmistakable. Imagine being in a loud, bustling city, and suddenly everything becomes quiet enough for you to hear this faint, beautiful music that was always playing beneath the din. The heart, in this analogy, is the key to finally hearing that music.
And this journey from mind to heart isn't just about feeling good, though that sounds like part of it. The source describes it as the ultimate act of creation, a sacred union. Can you tell us more about this cosmic union? What does that actually entail? It sounds incredibly profound.
This is where the language becomes incredibly evocative, almost mystical, yes. It uses terms of deep intimacy and ultimate fulfillment. When you finally let it in, meaning you fully embrace this truth about who you are and say your wholehearted yes, it feels like the ultimate act of creation, a sacred lovemaking between your soul and its source. In this cosmic union, your soul and the divine become one in creative bliss. It's described as the forces of the divine and the very core of your being coming together, merging, and in that merging, generating ever more life. This union sweeps you beyond every former limit of consciousness and carries you into realms of pure ecstasy. So it's not just a fleeting emotion, it's presented as an active, generative process where the individual becomes a conscious conduit for a universal life force, experiencing a state of profound, boundless joy that goes beyond ordinary happiness.
Realms of pure ecstasy. That sounds like a total liberation, a complete release. All of the energy that was once bound up in anxious thoughts and petty concerns is now free to explode into pure joy. What incredible liberation does that represent? I mean, just think about it.
It's immense.
How might this impact our creativity, our relationships, our overall capacity for joy in everyday life? It's like that image of a river that has been dammed for generations, finally breaking free and surging with incredible power and unrestrained joy. Or, as the source puts it, like two lovers becoming so intertwined that they generate new life and bliss together. The imagery is deeply moving and powerful.
And the natural, inevitable outcome of this profound union, the source tells us, is a feeling so complete it transforms absolutely everything. Pure, all-consuming gratitude.
That's a beautiful endpoint, isn't it? Not just fleeting thankfulness for something specific, but an all-consuming state of being. It sounds almost like the very fabric of your existence starts singing in harmony.
Yes, as this cosmic union happens, a profound truth dawns. Gratitude, pure gratitude floods you, all-consuming and perfect. It's described almost physically, like light filling every particle of your being, where every electron within you seems to sing yes to existence.
Every electron.
Yeah. It's a state where all of life within and around you becomes a celebration overflowing with delight. This isn't just presented as a fleeting emotion we strive for, but as an existential state. a fundamental recognition and deep appreciation for existence itself. It strongly suggests that deep joy and profound gratitude are actually our default natural state when we're aligned with this life force, not something we have to constantly manufacture or chase after externally. The Source says, the whole of your heart rejoices without limit in being fully alive, and you realize that this simple, total joy is what life is truly meant to be.
Wow. If your heart rejoices without limit in being fully alive, what would that mean for our perception of everyday things like challenges, setbacks, even just boring daily routines?
Right.
Could it genuinely transform mundane tasks into sacred acts of celebration, finding delight in every small moment? Imagine every single cell in your body vibrating with the song of thanks, a deep, resonant hum that just permeates your entire being and radiates outward into the world. It's a powerful vision of living in constant appreciation. So, okay, you've glimpsed what's possible, this deep aliveness, this cosmic union, this pervasive gratitude. But we live in a world of constant change, right? A world that often presents us with challenges and what the Source calls nightmare images.
Mm-hmm.
How do we navigate that reality from this place of profound love and gratitude? How do we stay centered?
This is a really crucial section, I think, because it directly addresses the practical application of these profound spiritual insights, especially when we're faced with global challenges and realities that can often feel distressing or overwhelming.
Yeah, the Source definitely acknowledges that you find yourself living in a time of great change. It talks about a new world of love dawning, but simultaneously, old nightmare images are rising up for one last show, like shadows getting darker just before dawn.
Mm-hmm. A last gasp, maybe?
These scenes of fear and suffering clamor for your attention, it says, posing a critical question directly to us. Do you still believe in the world now passing away? Do you believe in those distressing images, or do you believe in love? This framing positions every moment as a critical choice point, almost like casting a vote, energetically speaking, for the reality we choose to empower.
That's a powerful concept, the energetic vote.
Yeah. The fading world represents a reality based on fear and division, while the new world is based on love. And the Source insists this choice is everything and holds the power to change the world.
It's a powerful call to conscious discernment, isn't it? If, as the Source suggests, much of the world you saw was love turned upside down, then actively choosing love, no matter what appears before your eyes, can actually seize the pivot point of creation, allowing divine truth to stream back into this reality. This suggests a really powerful co-creative role in global transformation for each of us, far beyond just being passive observers.
Right.
Think of it like this. It's like consciously choosing which news channel or social media feed to tune into, not just for the information, but for the feeling it leaves you with, the energy it cultivates within you. Understanding that repeated exposure to that feeling reinforces its presence in both your inner and outer world. Your choice, your focus, truly matters.
That's a really compelling metaphor, and the Source is very direct about how we should respond to these nightmare images and illusions. It's about more than just maintaining a positive mindset. It sounds like a conscious redirection of our energy and attention. What exactly does that redirection look like in practice?
Precisely. It's presented as an act of spiritual discernment and, frankly, self-preservation. The Source states that the heart is coming forward, and with its vision you can see through those illusions. Your heart knows deep down the truth of love, of God, of beauty, and of the gifts you are here to bring. And the time has come, it says, to trust that knowing completely, once and for all.
Trust the heart's knowing.
Yes. This emphasizes the heart, not just as a center of emotion, but as a powerful source of truth and discernment. The illusions, the fear-based narratives, are portrayed as not real in the deepest sense. And the heart's vision, its innate wisdom, pierces right through them, to reveal the underlying reality of love.
So it's an active process of trusting an inner knowing and inner feeling over external appearances, even when those appearances are loud and scary.
Exactly.
What practical difference does it make, according to the Source, to not grant these illusions your attention or energy, even when they shout the loudest?
Well, the Source states that the old world's drama is only a challenge to strengthen your commitment to love.
A challenge to strengthen commitment. That reframes it.
Right. This implies that even perceived negative events or collective suffering can be reframed, not as reasons for despair, but as opportunities for growth and for deepening our commitment to love, to that higher vibration. It's like a magician's trick. Once you understand how it's done, the illusion loses its power over you. The heart, in this view, is the key to understanding the trick of fear and division, allowing us to maintain our inner state regardless of external storms.
Okay, that makes sense. So if we choose love, if we trust our heart's vision, how does this grand cosmic energy actually manifest in our everyday, ordinary lives? How does all this grandeur become practical, as the Source puts it?
This is where the profound really meets the practical, yeah. Bridging that gap between these deep spiritual insights and just everyday existence. And the Force provides some really beautiful, tangible guidance on how to infuse our daily lives with this awakened presence.
When the current of living light runs strong within you, the Source says it asks for form through you. It wants expression. This is where grandeur becomes practical, it claims. Examples given are: hands become instruments of blessing, speak becomes a balm, footsteps become quiet consecrations of the ground. This suggests that this divine energy isn't just for quiet meditation or mystical experiences tucked away somewhere.
No, not at all.
It's meant to infuse every single aspect of our physical lives, meaning every ordinary act can carry the signature of the extraordinary when your attention rests in the heart. Elevating simple gestures, simple words, into profound expressions of love and purpose.
Absolutely. This section clearly suggests that individual conscious action infused with heart can profoundly elevate the collective experience. Imagine preparing a meal, not just mechanically cooking, but doing it as a conscious act of love and nourishment. A consecration, as the Source puts it, of the food and the shared experience around it, transforming a routine chore into a sacred offering. Or consider something like gardening. Each touch of the soil, each plant tended, becomes an act of communion with the earth when done from the heart. The effect of infusing presence and intention into such acts is far-reaching, radiating outward in ways we might not even fully grasp.
And the Source provides some incredibly specific examples of how this actually looks in practice. It really grounds the concept. It's about infusing intention and heart into seemingly small things, from writing an email to, surprisingly, even writing code. Turning the ordinary into the extraordinary.
Yes, the examples are quite striking and surprisingly detailed, aren't they? Like, a letter sent in kindness becomes a bridge, creating connection through intention, rather than just being a conveying of information.
Makes sense.
Or a line of code written with care becomes a refuge. That one's fascinating. It implies that even technical work, often seen as purely logical or detached, can carry the energy of intention and thoughtfulness.
Yeah, I love that one.
And consider this practical suggestion. A meeting begins to orbit around coherence when you bring 1 minute of soft breathing before the first word. That shows how a simple personal act of grounding and presence can shift the entire dynamic of a group interaction, even in a professional setting. These are really concrete illustrations of how conscious intention can transform the quality and outcome of our actions.
What if technology could genuinely become a conduit for tenderness, as it says, when you choose tone and timing that relieve pressure rather than increase it? Or architecture shifts from monument to sanctuary when you design for belonging, not spectacle. This feels like a call for a fundamentally different way of interacting with the world, where every creation, every interaction is consciously imbued with heart.
It really is.
Just consider the difference between sending a hurried, impersonal email and one that's crafted with genuine care and consideration, even if it's brief. The impact on the recipient and the overall energy exchange is palpable, isn't it? But this isn't about forced performance, is it? Like putting on a spiritual act. It sounds more about integrity, about listening to your inner guidance for what feels genuinely right. What does the Source say about those inner yeses and nos?
That's a critical distinction, yes. The Source emphasizes that the force moving through you does not demand performance, it longs for integrity. Authenticity.
Integrity.
You are encouraged to say yes only where your inner warmth expands, and say no with gentleness where your light dimmers. This really emphasizes authenticity and self-trust as your primary guide, trusting your inner compass. Your inner warmth is presented as a somatic signal of alignment. Maybe a feeling of expansion, openness, rightness in your body.
Okay.
While your light dimming is a signal of misalignment, perhaps a feeling of contraction, unease, or resistance. It's about creating a life that is genuinely in harmony with your true nature, not dictated by external expectations or societal pressures.
This vision suggests a quiet revolution, doesn't it? Things like build altars that look like kitchen tables, emails that feel like fresh air, calendars that leave room for wonder. I love that.
That too.
And the idea that the world reorganizes around such rightness, not because you push it, but because reality gravitates towards steady hearts the way seedlings turn towards sun. That implies a profound, almost magnetic influence of our individual inner state on collective reality. Imagine making a decision based purely on that feeling of expansive warmth in your chest, rather than just logical analysis or external pressure. This is listening to your body's wisdom, a profound integration of spirit and form in everyday life.
Beautifully put.
And what's truly fascinating here is how this inner integrity and presence directly impacts our relationship with something we often feel we don't have enough of, time itself.
Yes, this heart-centered way of living fundamentally alters our perception and experience of time. It transforms it from feeling like a rigid master we're always chasing into more of a responsive companion. It's about experiencing time differently.
The source observes that as perception ripens, time loosens its knots. Isn't that a great phrase? Time loosens its knots.
It really is.
The clock still ticks, obviously, but something subtler conducts the rhythm, your breath becoming the metronome of experience. It suggests a shift from being driven purely by external clocks and deadlines to tuning into an internal organic rhythm. By consciously lengthening the inhale and letting the exhale finish itself, the source says hours soften and priorities reveal their natural order. And urgency loses its disguise, revealing what is truly timely. So it's not about stopping time, but fundamentally changing our relationship with it, moving into a more present, less hurried state of being.
Precisely. And this leads to the concept of ripened moments, which are described as luminous windows. When a conversation opens like a gate, when a solution arrives fully dressed, when the road clears for precisely the stretch you must travel. It suggests a kind of synchronistic flow that arises naturally from this deepened presence, from being attuned to this subtler rhythm.
Those moments when things just click into place.
Exactly. What incredible opportunities, what moments of grace might we be missing by constantly rushing, by being out of sync with these luminous windows? The source states, you decline the seduction of hurry, not out of laziness, but out of fidelity to accuracy. Pace is part of truth.
Pace is part of truth. That's powerful.
Isn't it? Imagine a skilled dancer moving gracefully across a stage. They aren't rushing. They're perfectly timed with the music, letting the rhythm guide each step. Our breath, when consciously attended to, can be that inner conductor, aligning us with life's natural tempo, helping us find the right pace.
And this gentler tempo, this befriending of time, it has powerful ripple effects, doesn't it? Especially in how we connect with other people. How does our inner steadying change our relationships and interactions?
As your own center steadies, the source says, you turn into a tuning fork for ease and resonance. And this resonance does the work arguments never could.
A tuning fork for ease, I like that.
Yeah. It describes a profound, energetic shift in how we interact with others. It's not about manipulation or trying to control outcomes, but about embodying an invitation that arises naturally from an authentic, steady inner state. You learn to hold your ground without hardness. And the effect is that people feel safer in your vicinity. Safe enough to soften, safe enough to tell the truth, safe enough to listen. It inherently shifts the dynamic away from potential confrontation towards understanding, creating a space for genuine connection and deeper empathy to emerge.
And the advice to meet hostility the way earth meets rain, absorb what is clean, let the rest run off without stain, that offers a remarkably powerful model for non-reactive engagement, doesn't it?
It really does. Such a vivid image.
It's about not allowing external negativity or drama to permeate your inner peace, choosing consciously what you absorb and what you let flow past you.
Maintaining your center.
And for communities, the source suggests they form not from enforced uniformity, but from mutual reliability, building a lattice of goodwill with small fibers. This is a vision of belonging that does not have a price, where small, consistent acts of generosity and integrity, things like returning messages, honoring boundaries, remembering names, admitting mistakes quickly, these small things create a strong, compassionate social fabric.
It's the power of small, consistent, heart-centered actions.
Yeah. Imagine walking into a tense room and just your calm, steady presence subtly shifts the atmosphere, making others feel more at ease without you even saying a word. We've all felt that sometimes.
Definitely.
This whole concept of embodying love and presence can sometimes seem a bit abstract, though. But the source provides remarkably specific, actionable steps, daily thresholds, it calls them, that we can cross to integrate this deep dive into our actual lives.
Yes, the beauty of these teachings really lies in their practical application. They offer tangible rituals, small practices, to consciously infuse sacred presence into our everyday routines. It's about making conscious choices throughout our day to align with this new vibration, this deeper way of being.
And it starts right when you wake up, doesn't it? Even before your feet hit the floor, before you grab your phone.
Exactly, the crucial first moment.
The source suggests that upon waking, place a hand over your heart before reaching for any device. Just pause. Feel the first clear pulse of the day and let it name itself inside you, perhaps with a color, a wordless image, a simple sense, like tuning in. You then carry that chosen tone, that feeling, as a pocket talisman to guide your steps throughout the day. And then, before the first conversation, open a window or a door and allow fresh air to move through, inviting your physical space to match your intention. This establishes such a mindful beginning, prioritizing inner connection over immediate external distraction. It consciously aligns both yourself and your environment with the day's desired quality or feeling.
Think about how transformative that simple practice could be if done consistently. How might setting this intention, this tone, before the day truly begins, alter your receptivity, your resilience when challenges pop up, the quality of your interactions?
Right.
It frames the day not as just a list of tasks to conquer or survive, but as an unfolding experience guided by inner wisdom and a chosen heart frequency. Instead of immediately checking emails or news feeds, imagine taking just that quiet moment to simply feel your own heartbeat and choose the overarching feeling you want to carry through your day. That small shift can really reorient your entire trajectory for the hours ahead.
And this isn't just about the morning rush. This mindful attention extends throughout the day, recognizing moments of natural pause, maybe between tasks or during lunch, as opportunities for recentering.
Exactly. The source suggests at midday, pause long enough to notice what has gathered in your chest. Tightness, momentum, joy, whatever it is, just notice it and send a single breath down into the belly until the body answers with ease. A conscious releasing breath.
Grounding.
Yes. And then release the friction that is no longer needed. Offer it to the ground as compost. This provides a really practical technique for self-regulation and emotional processing throughout the day. It acknowledges that daily stresses and energies accumulate, and it offers a simple, embodied way to release them, transforming potentially negative energy into something neutral or even useful, like compost.
I love that imagery, offering friction to the ground as compost.
Me too. What if these midday pauses became a universal practice? In workplaces, in schools, in homes, how might it reduce collective stress levels, improve focus, and foster a greater sense of well-being across society? Imagine having a brief reset button available in the middle of your day, allowing you to shake off accumulated tension and re-engage with freshness and clarity.
And then as the day winds down, the source gives us specific guidance for transitioning into rest and integrating the day's experiences, ensuring a holistic cycle of presence from waking to sleeping.
Yes. At dusk, rinse your field with water hands under a tap, a slow shower, or simply a bowl held with attention. The key is the attention. And imagine spent energies dissolving like dust. A conscious cleansing.
Letting go of the day.
Exactly. Followed by, before sleep plays today on an inner shelf, and bless it not as perfect, but as complete. And you're encouraged to ask your dreams to refill the wells and to stitch loose edges with quiet symbols. These practices are about conscious, energetic cleansing and achieving closure for the day, allowing for deeper spiritual and mental renewal during sleep, and blessing the day as complete rather than judging it as good or bad, perfect or imperfect, releases the need for perfectionism and fosters a sense of peace.
And the idea of retrieving a thread from those rooms, meaning your dreams may be a phrase, a feeling, a knowing, and then stitching it into the day's first action, that suggests such a seamless integration of subconscious wisdom into waking life, ensuring, as the source says, that nothing precious is lost to habit.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Connecting the night wisdom with the day's action.
It really is. Imagine a daily ritual of consciously washing away the day's worries, leaving them behind so you can enter sleep with a clear mind and an open heart, ready for inspiration and guidance for the next day. Okay, this powerful framework guides us through our personal days, weaving presence into the fabric of our lives. But what happens when the world outside feels overwhelming? When we're confronted directly with tragedy and suffering that we see or hear about, how does this heart-centered approach help us respond in a way that aligns with this deeper aliveness rather than getting pulled down?
Yes, this section offers a truly, perhaps challenging, but ultimately empowering reorientation to how we engage with suffering in the world. It challenges many conventional responses and calls for a deeper level of discernment and heart-centered perspective.
The guidance is quite direct. When tragedy strikes and the media is full of sorrowful images, do not give them your focus. Do not cast your vote for more of the same suffering. That's a profound instruction, isn't it? To actively disengage your focus.
It is.
Instead, we are told to turn your eyes away, turn off the television, and close the news feeds. This is a clear call to consciously disengage from fear-based narratives that, intentionally or not, aim to pull us into despair and helplessness. It emphasizes that where we place our focus, our attention, our energetic vote has tangible consequences. It shapes our inner world and potentially influences the outer collective field as well.
And the Source explicitly states that the ego into despair, meaning the part of us that gets caught in suffering, would have you forget love. Therefore, consciously withdrawing your attention from these overwhelming narratives is presented as an act of preserving your own inner alignment and power. It's a crucial step in maintaining your connection to this deeper aliveness, this heart-centered truth. It implies that constant, uncritical exposure to negative media can actually hinder one's spiritual progress and connection. It can dim that inner light.
Right.
Imagine standing at a crossroads. One path leads down into collective despair, heavily fueled by sensationalized media portrayals. The other path leads towards inner peace, love, and your own creative power. The Source guides you to consciously turn away from the path of suffering that only perpetuates fear and helplessness.
Okay, but this isn't about ignoring suffering, is it? Or pretending it doesn't exist. That feels wrong.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely not. It's about acknowledging it from a place of inner strength and love, rather than from fear or despair. And then directing our energy towards genuine healing and constructive action, rather than getting paralyzed or just amplifying the pain. And importantly, the Source then directs us to a much deeper truth about life, death, and the eternal nature of the soul itself.
So it's not about being insensitive or turning a blind eye, but about shifting our perspective to a higher truth, finding a more empowered, love-based way to respond.
Precisely that. Instead of drowning in the focus on suffering, we are urged to come into the silence of your heart. Let the truth of love bathe you and fill you with unshakable joy. Find your center first. And then comes a profound teaching on perspective. Know that death is not at all the ultimate reality, and the world of love is here now, and only through your heart where you see it.
Only through the heart.
Yes. This offers a profound shift in perspective on mortality, loss, and grief. It reframes death not as a final end, an absolute termination, but as a transition within the endless oneness of spirit. And the heart, again, becomes the organ of perception for this deeper, unseen reality.
The Source even touches on the most difficult kind of suffering to witness, stating that even when your heart breaks at the sight of suffering, especially when it involves innocent children, we are encouraged not to sink into the pain of what you see, because from this higher perspective, those dear ones are not lost at all.
That's a challenging perspective, but deeply comforting if embraced.
It is. Their souls, it says, are truly free and overjoyed, rejoicing in the endless oneness of spirit. Imagine a loved one simply stepping into another room, still present, still joyous, just out of physical sight for a while. The heart, the Source claims, allows us to touch them in spirit, connecting us beyond the limitations of the physical form.
A connection beyond death.
This truly gives us a different lens, doesn't it? A way to approach even the most profound grief, not with utter despair, but with a deeper sense of peace and understanding rooted in the larger tapestry of eternal life. So bringing this all together, what does this entire message mean for us right now, living our lives today? #outro. This deep dive has truly taken us on an incredible journey, hasn't it? Feels like we've covered so much ground.
It really has been quite a journey, yeah.
From exploring humanity's deepest, perhaps often unconscious, longing for that life in capital letters, that vibrant, undeniable aliveness, to understanding the dawning of a new energy, a new vibration on our planet, and landing on the profound realization that we are, each of us, nothing less than the purest creative impulse of the universe.
That core identity piece is huge.
It really is. We've explored how saying a wholehearted yes to life, releasing the ego's limiting grip, and consciously choosing love over fear can unlock immense joy and power within us. And we've even looked at practical, tangible ways to infuse every single moment, every interaction, every transition of our day with this radiant presence, from setting morning intentions to befriending time, and even learning how to navigate collective sorrow with an awakened, discerning heart. It's really about embodying the wholeness of life, isn't it?
If we connect all these threads, pull it all together, the message from our sources feels remarkably clear and consistent. We are ready, more than ready perhaps, to embrace a life that is described as unlimited, holy, and breathtaking. The path forward is laid out, not necessarily in grand sweeping gestures or dramatic events, but in the quiet, conscious choices we make each moment, in the quality of presence we bring to the ordinary.
The small things adding up.
Exactly. It's about remembering our true nature, that we are the very force of creation's love, alive and taking form as us right here, right now. And this raises, I think, an important question for you, our listener, as you step back into your day from this deep dive. In the face of the world's clamor, the distractions, the challenges, knowing, perhaps on some level, that you have already chosen love at a soul level, what one yes, or perhaps one gentle no, will you consciously speak today? What small choice will you make to bring more of this profound aliveness, this true creative impulse, into your own experience? It's a powerful question to carry forward, I think. A small hinge that can potentially open a very, very big door.